The Z1 is definitely one of the coolest BMWs ever. Maybe it's not the most powerful and the fastest, or even the most beautiful one, but it's something about this car that makes it very special. I don't know if are the doors, the aesthetics, or the importance of this car. The only thing I know is that I want one, really badly. And if you are a petrolhead, you definitely have a sweet spot in your heart for this car. Hello guys and welcome back to another story or video. And here's the story of BMW Z1. The history of Z1 begins in 1985, when BMW created BMW Technik GmbH. BMW Technik was created as a lab for new BMW concepts, technology and materials that could be used on different future BMW projects. Originally, BMW created a team of 60 people, with some of their best engineers, technicians and designers. Under the directions of Ulrich Bies, BMW Technik managed to build their first project only in 6 months. This project was the Z1. These are some of the early Z1 sketches. Sadly, I couldn't find any pictures of the original concept mock-up. The original prototype was designed by one of the best designers of all time, Harm Legge. Harm is a Dutch designer, which is responsible for the Porsche Boxster, the 996, the Cayenne and the beautiful Carrera GT. BMW top officials immediately approved the project and gave the green light. This was done because the project featured all the requirements of BMW Technik. After only 1 year, the first functional prototype was ready. In August 1st, 1986, BMW went public and announced that BMW Technik had completed their first project, the Z1. And 1 year later, in September 1st, 1986, at the Frankfurt Auto Show, BMW presented the Z1 for the first time to the public. And in October 1988 the production of the car began. I'm going to talk how this whole thing happened a little bit later. The Z1 was no ordinary car. Even though the car shared some parts with the A30, most of the car was built from the ground up. The Z1 had a self-supporting monocoque construction, which was made from individual sheet steel parts. The floor of the Z1 was made out of a special material composite from plastic and fiberglass. This really helped the car since it was immune to corrosion, safe in a collision, produced smooth underbody contours, but also helped the car with reducing weight, since it weighed only 15 kilos. But the floor wasn't the last part that was made out of plastic. The complete body shell of the car was also made out of a special plastic/fiberglass type material. Different types of plastic were used depending on the risk that the panel faced if the car had an accident. Even though it was made out of plastic, this material proved to be quite resistant. Combining this with a lightweight, this system was the perfect combination. Another feature of this system was that you could change a damaged panel very easily, and if you wanted, you could change the interior color of the car in under 1 hour, just with a screwdriver. Even though this system had some advantage, BMW found out that it would be very expensive and time consuming to use this technique for mass production cars. But the best feature of this car were definitely the doors. We all have seen cowling, scissors, canopy, suicides and all kind of different types of system. But the Z1 is the only one to use this type of sliding doors, and in my opinion is one of the coolest ones. the doors retracted electrically into the side seals. The mechanics of the doors and windows were driven by two electric motors. Also, the motors were fitted with a mechanically operated freewheel function to allow the doors and windows operated mechanically if it was necessary. Since the Z1 is a very low car, to drive with the door downs probably is an awesome experience. The power came from a 2.5 liter straight 6 from the 325i. Also, the 5-speed gearbox came from the 325i. With only 170 horsepower, the Z1 was clearly not the most powerful car. But thanks to the good aerodynamics and low center of gravity, the Z1 had a top speed of 220 km per hour and could reach 100 in 8 seconds. The only reason why the Z1 made it to production was that apparently BMW got 5,000 requests for the car. All the Z1s were built by hand, so BMW was building less than 10 cars a day. The Z1 was only for 4 years in production, and 8,000 cars were built in total. All the cars were left-hand wheel drive, and most of them, 6,443 to be correct, were sold in Germany. Around 600 Z1s went in Italy and the rest of them in different European countries. The French Z1 were a bit different since they were fitted with yellow headlights instead of the white ones. The Z1 came in 6 different colors: Dream Blue, Top Red, To Be Green, Magic Violet, Pure Blue and Fun Yellow. The most common color is a Top Red, with 3,105 examples, and the rarest one is the Fun Yellow, with only 133 examples. The interior was available in 4 different colors: grey, light grey, red and light yellow. Since we are talking about the interior of the Z1 was very simple: 2 leather bucket seats and a very simple dashboard. Thankfully, Alpina also built a version of the Z1, called the Roadster Limited Edition, or RLE. The exterior was the same, the only changes were the wheels and the Alpina stripes. The biggest change was the engine. The RLE came with a 2.57 liter straight 6, with 200 horsepower. This helped the car to reach a top speed of 230 km per hour and reach 100 in 7 seconds. Only 66 RLE were built, and half of them were exported in Japan. Beside Alpina, AC Schnitzer also built 10 modified Z1s. Like the Alpina, AC also used the 2.7 liter engine. Since the Z1 was a very expensive car at the time, you don't see many Z1s that have been destroyed by tuners. In typical 80s fashion, some artists used the Z1s as a canvas for their art project. The first one was Air Panic, with his BMW Art Car 11. RA was followed by Keith Haring. Differently from Panic, Haring's Z1 wasn't a BMW art car, but just a personal project created by the American artist. BMW continued the Z1 project with 2 concept cars, which sadly never made it to production. The Z1 Coupe or Break could have been an awesome car in my opinion, because it would have been just a more practical Z1. BMW was also planning to build an all-wheel drive version of the car, which would have made the car even better. But the Coupe was just a clay model, which never made it to a fully functional concept. Probably BMW cancelled the project after the poor sales of the Z1, but at least the idea of a shooting brake car wasn't killed immediately, because BMW presented the Z3 Coupe, which clearly takes some of inspiration from the Z1 Coupe. The second Z1 concept was the M version. Nothing is known about this car. The only thing we know is that the design is terrible, especially when you compare with the original Z1. There is no doubt that the Z1 is one of the most important cars BMW has ever made. Not only the Z1 introduced new technology, but also is the car that launched the Z line, the Z3, the Z4 and the beautiful Z8. And the Z1 was the first BMW Roadster in 30 years. But again, Z1 failed its sale numbers. And in my opinion there are two reasons for this. First was the price. The new Z1 costed 83,000 Deutschmarks, or double the price of the A30 convertible. And the second reason is that in 1989 Mercedes introduced the SL R129, which had a similar price with the Z1, but was more car for the money. Since only 8,000 cars were built, the Z1 is a very rare car. And you probably will never see one in person, especially when you live in certain parts of the world. Some Z1s have been imported in US, but it's hard to say how many, and a good number is imported in Japan. Prices for a bad Z1 start at 25,000 euros and 100,000 euros for Alpina Z1, but the average asking price is around 40 to 50,000 euros. Since the Z1 is a similar car with the A30, it's a very reliable car, so you will not have many problems. Adding here the fact that you can still find Z1s with less than 10,000 kilometers, you are basically buying a brand new car. So guys, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for other videos, please let me know in the comments down below. See you next time.